Hi there, Baltic Boss babes. Get ready. This episode is just next level. Today, we're stepping into the bold and brilliant world of defense tech with none other than Dr. Larysa Visengeriyeva, a force of nature at the intersection of AI, data, and security. From deep diving into machine learning at DARPA, shaping data mesh architectures, and creating go-to AI strategy tools, to leading the charge in European defense tech, Dr. Larysa's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. With years spent building AI-powered infrastructures, decoding the EU AI Act, and defining what smart, secure, and scalable tech should look like, she's now channeling all that firepower into something truly groundbreaking, bringing more women into defense tech. Because the future of security, it's innovative, inclusive, and impossible to ignore. If you're ready to rethink AI, tech, and the power of women shaping the future, this one's for you. Let's dive in. Hi, Larysa. I am so glad to see you here today. How are you feeling?
I thank you very much for this powerful introduction. I'm kind of impressed. I was thinking, wow, is it all about me? Yes, I'm good right now. I'm in Ukraine. And yes, hello everyone from Ukraine.
Great. So let's dive right in. I mean, we've had this conversation some time ago already. It was so extraordinary that I wanted to share with everybody. So please tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, how did you end up here from the little Larysa that was growing up somewhere in Ukraine to becoming this brilliant woman who is bringing all the women in Europe now towards defense tech? So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much for this question. This will be the long answer. I was actually born in the country that doesn't exist anymore. I was born in the former Soviet Union in Belarus and spent my childhood on the military airbase. So my father is a former jet pilot, and you can imagine that military has been always in my life. This is somehow now is the closing the frame. Honestly, I always wanted to be a pilot, but at some point, as a girl, you are being taught, so okay, you are a girl. So being a pilot or military is not for girls. And these voices took over me and, convinced me that, okay, becoming a pilot is not something for girls. Mistake number one. Don't listen to any voices. Please, everyone who is listening to me, listen only to your own voice. After the Chernobyl technogen catastrophe, we moved to Ukraine. My mom is Ukrainian, so we had grandparents here. So we moved to our grandparents. And this is how I became Ukrainian citizen. Having my father who supported me always in all the STEM subjects, physics, mathematics, who supported me in all the discoveries, becoming or getting into the engineering was my natural. I graduated first from the Faculty of Informatics here in Odessa. Then I moved to Germany to continue my study and end up finishing another degree of computer science and eventually become a software engineer. So like being a software engineering is a very creative path for me. So like programming, I cannot imagine something more creative than writing code. I mean, so getting into the state of like deep focus in the zone while programming is the most beautiful state with what you can imagine.
I can imagine this could raise a couple of interesting discussions in the comments, I hope.
I hope to. Please ask questions. And eventually, so I became interested into building software architectures. This was for me like painting the landscape. It is beautiful, it's creative, it's nice. I simply don't understand why women cannot do it. The reason why I always ask this question, because during my career, I was first, the only, and the last woman in a team, in the engineering team. I thought it is just because in the industry, when I moved to academia to get my PhD in data engineering, it was literally the same. So like a different area, but the same situation. I was always wondering why not so many women. I was lonely item there. And I really missed that female energy, that power with me. I really wish that more women explore this creative field. And getting two babies during the PhD was also not easy because all the system, the academic system, all the professional environment are basically not created for women.
And in Germany, of all countries, right? So
Okay, you're right. So I moved to Germany. It was also a bit harder than maybe in the eastern part of Europe, like Baltic countries or Ukraine. I don't know. But yes, it was not easy. After getting my PhD, I switched into the industry, into the consultancy, and worked on building up or merging engineering and machine learning development. So at that time, it was 2020, I realized that we are lacking a lot of best practices in machine learning engineering. I foresaw that AI development, AI engineering will be prevalent, but I haven't realized that we do have the engineering practices for AI engineering. We have established best practices for software engineering, but not for AI engineering. So, and this was my main focus, and there are many resources which I created during that time, which eventually become, people say that it's Bible for ML ops, the machine learning operations, and the war in Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian. The war in Ukraine disrupted everything. So, and right now we are 3 years into the war, and the more we into this situation of having war on a European continent, the more I questioned myself and the purpose of myself, of everything I do right now. I just realized that I don't share the criteria of success of the corporate world. And I suppose if you follow me on LinkedIn, you would see my very emotional post about that I'm not interested anymore in the corporate world, in their definition of success. Because eventually, after the war has started, I realized that I can do something and I should do something for winning this war. And having the engineering background and seeing that the nature of warfare is changing, that technology, that the war becomes more technology driven or technology oriented, and being at the same time in Europe and seeing that nothing is happening. But at the same time, we see that countries who basically attack us do have the technology. You just do 1 + 1. So, and it's a matter of time if they can attack us, Baltic countries, Japan, Poland, who is next? So I went through a crisis of understanding that I can have an impact with my skills, with my energy, with my drive. I can have an impact. And this is basically my definition of success. So I left my corporate job and I joined the European Defence Tech Hub team, who was founded by Benjamin and Jonathan last year. So I joined with several different folks from me. Right now, we are 6 people. We don't ask for permission of working on the defense technologies. We will going bottom up. Our initiative is to organize defense tech hackathons around I would say Europe for now. We are cooperating with Ukrainian organizations like Brave One or MOD of Ukraine. We started cooperating with real combat brigades and getting challenges from them. Mm-hmm. Providing these challenges to our hackathon participants who are working through the 24-hour, 48 hours hackathons and developing solutions. I met a lot of folks who are mission-driven and want to contribute to stronger resilience in Europe, to better defense capabilities in Europe, to be prepared, to be ready, because we basically cannot rely anymore on the official parties like military, so they have their own slow processes and all the regulations, and we simply don't have a time for that. And the result of such hackathons are startups. You can think about startups as experiments. These startups are small, They are agile, they can adapt, quickly involve. They can go to, for example, they can go to Ukraine easily and test their solutions. We, as European Defence Tech Hub, we provide the connection and assist such teams in going and testing their solutions in a real environment.
But underneath the European defense tech is some small community who is not so small anymore,
Exactly.
like women in defense tech. So why don't you tell us?
And now I come to this story. People who know me, they know that for 2 years I've been organizing the Women in Data and AI Festival in Berlin and basically created the network of female tech communities with such festival to make female voices more louder, to make female faces more visible on the data and AI area. I could say it was a huge success. It was a huge success, but at some point I was kind of burned out. I was tired and stepped down from it. And when I joined the European Defence Tech Hub, they immediately told me, hey, Larysa, we need the same for women in defence tech. And I just resisted. I resisted it because I was tired, honestly. Honestly, I was personally tired. But then I saw the following. My story in entering to defence tech was like 1 year ago when I tried to knock doors at the German startups in defense tech and I failed. So no one wanted to talk to me. It was difficult to me to enter the defense tech area. And until I joined the team of the European Defense Tech Hub. And having this experience in entering defense tech as a woman, even if with an engineering background, but as a woman, but without military background. It is almost impossible right now. At some point, when I announced on LinkedIn that I joined the team of European Defence Tech Hub, many girls started asking me how I did it. I also have an engineering background. I'm a data scientist. I have an experience in risk management. But I have a difficulty to enter the defense tech. And I realized that there are many women outside there who understands the pressing need of developing defense tech area, but having troubles entering this professional field. And I have 4 co-founders with me who are having business development, infrastructure, and finance expertise we have in our team, and me with a data and AI background, engineering background. So we 4, me, Larysa, Julia, Anna, and Evelyn, we are the female forces behind this network, Women in Defense Tech. When we decided to build it, I was looking for the domain and realized everything is free. So all the domains, so Women in Defense Tech, they all are free. So you can buy everything. And this is a sign that actually there's no such networks, but the interest is there. And then from that point, we announced it on LinkedIn. This was a bold announcement, so we do it. We started to talk to other women. We approached a woman and asking, so what do you actually need? And then we realized that there are like 3 buckets of needs. First, women who want to enter the defense tech area and develop the defense capabilities of their countries and develop the resilience capabilities of their countries. First, so the entrance or transition into defense tech. This is the number 1. The second one, there are a lot of women already in defense tech, and they feel lonely. So they feel they are alone, and this is exactly what I felt myself in my whole professional life. I am the first, the only, and the last woman in a team. And exactly the same, like when I'm talking to these women in defense tech, I see myself, but in a slightly different area. And the third group of responses was, as a woman, I would like to establish a business in defense tech. And honestly, I don't know any reason why we women cannot build businesses in defense tech. If we look at the landscape of defense tech startups or scale-ups, we see only, or mostly, we have male founders, but no female founders. And this is something what we want to change. We want to create a platform for women with different backgrounds to make this transition into the defense tech. So to educate them, to provide a mentorship from experienced women, from mentorship from people who are already aware what defense tech is, what does it mean, what current challenges are. And we want to create a platform for women to have a safe space to exchange and to grow and become, if they want, so they should become executives. I see absolutely this wish for, so I want to have more responsibility. I want to have executive position in defense tech. I have no reason why we women cannot do it. And of course, building businesses, like connecting women who can produce drone manufacturing, drone operating, drone programming. I mean, this is just one vertical of defense tech, but I simply don't understand why we women cannot do it.
We can, absolutely. And I mean,
Absolutely.
the interest that you have mentioned definitely proves that. I'm so glad that at least you're like this beacon, shining light on all the women that want to actually do something. I'm really curious. Probably there are a lot of women who are listening to this right now and thinking, gosh, I would want to know Larysa. She seems so cool and so smart and knowledgeable. And I wish she was my mentor. And then I'm curious, who has been your mentors or women or figures that have inspired you to do whatever you do?
I have probably the first was my father and my mother. So these like in combination and quite separately, my mom is also an engineer. So they inspired me. But the encouragement for achieving everything I want come from my father. So this was my first mentor.
Like from professional field or university, course mates, I don't know, other women that you have met somewhere maybe.
This is the point. I met so few women so that I was forced to become the mentor for myself.
Well, I mean, that's also an option, right? So
right. So I had no other option to become mentoring myself and just figuring out to what do you actually want to do in your life. So who you are, what do you want, and maybe not only figuring out, but also designing yourself. This concept of designing yourself is the what actually I follow in my life. And at some point, I realized that the typical career, linear careers, the corporate career path is not my thing. I follow the career like growing a tree, right? So I created some fundament and then the leaves, so I'm just letting them develop. This is something I figured out by myself. Try to prototype, try stuff out and see how it goes. So, and if it's not yours, just don't overthink it. Just move to the next step and develop next branch of your tree. This is something I follow. I can't say that I had a lot of mentors, but right now, one of the co-founders in Women in Defense Tech, Anna, and she's ex-Palantir, and somehow exchanging with her is like, leave me always with the thoughts, oh, this woman I would love to meet 1 year ago. So I looked for you for 1 year. Now I'm exchanging with her, and it's something rewarding and helping me to develop myself into the defense tech because she has more than 20 years experience in defense tech. And yes.
Talking about meeting the right people at the right time, right? So maybe 1 year ago it wasn't necessary for you, but you met her now, and now you are sprinting towards creating one of the most important communities in Europe right now. So definitely, that's amazing.
I hope. And the interest is there. I was really surprised that the interest to the women in defense tech is such big.
I can hint to you that the website and the LinkedIn page that Larysa created literally exploded on LinkedIn in a couple of days. There are Instagram profiles exploding with some stupid cat videos, but I mean, something like that to see on LinkedIn and right in front of my eyes is actually pretty amazing. So you can see that that is the
Thank
right
you.
thing at the right time. So definitely.
Absolutely. It was right thing at the right time. And maybe you're right. So a year ago, the awareness of this topic was not there. But right now, we definitely see the pressing need.
I'm really curious, like being the only woman, the first, the last, and the only woman. It sounds so crazy. Wherever you have gone, there must have been some interesting decisions or stereotypes that you have broken. Guys are looking at you and thinking, like, how does she do it? Can you name one or two?
When they see a young girl with the long red hair, they're always thinking, oh, she is just maybe designer, web developer. And then you tell you're basically backend engineer, and basically you can program in Java programming language. I had to prove myself by committing a code, and then so let them review the code, and then they kind of realized, okay, still strange to have her in the team, but yes.
Yeah, she know what she's talking about,
Yeah,
right?
but still, one thing really were the screens which are like a mirror. One guy from a team was not comfortable. He was not comfortable, and then he suggested to me, so would you like, shall we switch the laptop so you can do makeup? And I was looking and thinking, I'm
What?
doing a makeup. Yeah, so, and you as a woman, you are faced with such stupid
Yeah,
stuff.
stereotypes. Yeah.
So stereotypes. Or, for example, I was a junior and I entered the position of backend engineer at my first company. But I was really keen to go on and understand the area of software architectures. I was very naive and young, so like enthusiastically asked the project lead. So I'm basically wanna do the software architecture, system architecture job. And they literally told me, so you signed the contract, and in the contract so we have backend engineer, so you are not the architect. It was like such a bad experience to me, and it was the last time. It hurt me. It
I
hurt
can
me
imagine.
for a long time. But it was this pain I made a promise to myself that I will never let anyone to tell me that I'm incapable of doing something.
Exactly. Very good. And ladies, I
So
hope you take this with yourself as well. Like, never, ever, ever let anyone tell you you can't do something. And I mean, although if you want to see a woman do some really crazy thing, just tell her that she can't do it and just watch her.
maybe maybe you can do this experiment. Yeah, so during my PhD we probably can have another time. So it was also a long story. So, but in a nutshell, so it always someone will come to you and say so what you should do, or what you are incapable of doing, or you cannot do, or you are not allowed to do. This pattern is recurring pattern through the whole life. But with experience and with my age, I learned to not allow that voices, my own voices who are telling me, so can you do it, Larysa? So I just not allowing anyone to do it, because right now with experience, I have this pattern recognition in myself and have more resilience right now and self-confidence, which I want to transmit to every woman who is listening me right now.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm curious. You have such a dynamic life right now, going to hackathons and managing the two defense tech communities and being part of this huge ecosystem. How do you keep yourself productive? Do you have some tips or tricks or something that you do to keep yourself up to date all the time? Of course, we are not robots. We get exhausted at some point, of course, but when you know that there's something important coming up, how do you get yourself prepared and focused for that?
Brilliant question. Thank you for that, because yesterday I was reflecting with my co-founder Evelyn exactly on that. So, and we taught ourselves, so we promised, so we will have a look after each other and, remind ourselves that having back-to-back meetings is bad. So not having a sunlight or drinking water is bad. So, and maintaining the sustainable way of working is essential. At the same time, I'm right now into the defense tech. I'm right now after Brave One Summit, I'm in Ukraine. And after getting a feedback about the hackathons, about what we are doing, getting the feedback from Ukrainians, so what are you doing is important, please do. So this gives us such energy, such a power to work through it. No, absolutely no, it's not sustainable. So it's crazy. So we are having a lot of meetings, a lot of emails, a lot of follow-ups, but reminding yourself, recharging your batteries when it's not completely empty, but maybe 30%, is essential. And having such soulmates like I have right now in my co-founder teams is also essential. So we are not only working on stuff, but we are also I realized creating such a team is also about caring about ourselves. So about caring about her and they care about me.
So basically, when you are too excited about something, there's somebody who's like, Larysa, don't run so fast. Let's just chill out a little bit and then we can keep up tomorrow, right?
Exactly. So we basically we have a weekly catch up together, and yesterday we cancel it because we said so we can do it later. For today, it is enough because we had 25 meetings yesterday. Meeting was the last one, and we said, okay, it's not so no one will hurt when we cancel that meeting or postpone it to the next one. So right now the energy and your well-being is important. It helped me not only physically but also emotionally and mentally to understand someone is caring about me, and I'm grateful for having my co-founders with me. Sure, so we will catch up everything, so nothing will get lost.
Maybe some other hacks. What do you do when you have to keep yourself? Like one is actually slowing down when you have to, but like 25 meetings in one day. After the 15th, you already probably are like, I don't know how to get through it. Do you have maybe some practices that you do to actually kind of wake yourself up and be ready for the next ones?
Something I learned during my PhD, which I continue doing, is a cold shower. It's an amazing thing which will change your life if you are not used to the cold water explosion. Also, going outside, getting sunlight. If you cannot get sunlight, get vitamin D, and sports, running outside. Everyone knows that, but this is something what works quite well. And for me personally is hugging my children, hugging my husband.
Oh,
Is the most ultimate life hack for recharging myself.
oh, that is so sweet. But yeah, I mean, there are scientific proof that having a close contact with your loved ones is actually helping you to reduce stress and everything. So yes, don't forget to hug your kittens and doggies and children and moms and dads and your husbands and wives, definitely. Amazing. One of the leisure time activities that most people are doing is reading. But what I would like to ask you, maybe you can name 2 books that have been the most influential for you while coming, not necessarily tips and tricks on programming, but the ones that have inspired you to do something differently or think a little bit differently, or maybe a movie or something like this.
The most influential book right now is one I'm writing as a hobby. It's the name is the EU Act Engineering, which I'm writing at O'Reilly. So it's like engineering practices for becoming compliant with the EU Act regulation. But jokes aside, there's one book which I highly recommend. It's The Art of Doing Science in Engineering by Richard Hamming. This book is influential and it influenced me as a researcher and as a person, as an engineering person, and like whatever I do. So like working on a right problem. So this is something what you can like condense that book to one expression is what is your problem?
That's actually really good. Yeah, not being distracted, right, by anything, and you can apply it everywhere, right? So yeah.
So you can also watch the YouTube lecture by Richard Hamming, You and Your Research. It's a very old lecture, so my recommendation. And his book, right, so The Art of Doing Science and Engineering is the beauty of technical writing, engineering mindset, and research soul. So this is the number one. And the second one from Clarissa Pinkola Estes. The name is Women Who Run with the Wolves.
Oh, yes, that is a good one.
For every woman who is ready for this book, please do read it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites as well. So I can, put two checks and say, yes, ladies, please do read it.
You probably have to be ready for this book.
True.
So, but try it and you will immediately realize if you're ready, if you're not. So if you're not ready, so just wait for the moment of your life when you are ready.
Right. So now when we are slowly approaching the final minutes of our episode, like what would be your, Larysa, the most unfiltered advice that you could give aspiring female entrepreneurs or leaders or women just starting out on their journey?
I would say the power is not given, the power is taken. And this is my unfiltered advice for every woman listening to me right now.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, I actually had a mentor telling me this a few years ago. So this is actually a really good one. Thank you so much, Larysa, for being here with us today and for the amazing and inspiring journey and the story that you shared with us. Ladies, if you ever want to join the Defense Tech or feast on some inspiration from Larysa, don't hesitate to reach out to her. She's open for any contact. And yes, definitely, Larysa, the best of luck and success to your endeavors and women in defense. And yeah, I hope that we can have another chat some point soon.
Absolutely looking forward to it. And thank you very, very much for the invitation and all the best to you.
Thank you. And as always, Baltic Boss Babes, don't forget to subscribe. We have new episode coming out every 2 weeks. And also follow us on socials on LinkedIn and Instagram. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap. Dr. Larysa's journey through AI and defense tech reminds us that impact comes from daring to lead and that women have a vital role in shaping the future of security. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. Catch you next time, Baltic Boss Babes.
Is she human?